So a mixed bag here. Some good and not so good news when it comes to teenagers and their body image. A new study finds that normal weight and even overweight teenagers have a more positive view of their bodies than in past years. And that sounds like a good thing. But researchers are concerned by some of the results. Namely, more than 1/3 of overweight 13 to 15-year-olds consider their weight to be normal and don't worry about having health concerns. One health expert says, quote, overweight teenagers are more likely to become overweight adults at higher risk of cancer. So it is important that young people who are too heavy have support to make healthy changes. Being aware that they are above a healthy weight could be a first step, end quote. Jedediah, you worked in schools. You come from an academic background. I'm curious, maybe it's the political correctness now, because we're not really allowed to talk about anybody's reality in the classroom.
It's true. You have to be afraid to hurt everyone's feelings. You have to be afraid to make phone calls home to parents. If you think there may be an issue or if you want to make a recommendation, there are student advisors that are tracked with watching kids and seeing what they eat. Look, this is a health issue. I mean, a lot of kids being overweight, being obese, that's not healthy. If you are obese, you have to acknowledge that. Your parents have to provide a support system because you are at greater risk for certain diseases. It's not just like, oh, you're 14, go out and eat as many French fries as you want, no consequence. There are health issues, cancer, diabetes. I mean, you look at all issues down the road that are huge problems. And I give Michelle Obama some credit for bringing this, I don't necessarily like the way she tackles it, but for at least calling attention to this issue among young people. And a lot of schools are very, very afraid to tackle this issue because you're told, don't make kids feel bad. Don't make kids feel bad. This is a problem that needs to be addressed.
I think that they'll tackle race issues and gender issues, but when it comes to nutrition, I think schools are emboldened more than ever. For God's sakes, they're trying to ban bake sales and Twinkies. Good luck if you're Ariana Grande trying to lick a donut in an elementary school. They will punish you and put you in detention. You can't even get a ho-ho close to a recess ground. I mean, schools have taken a strong stance against sugar and sweeteners, and no one knows how to read or write anymore, but good thing they're not licking any donuts.
You know, we only need an egg timer these days to figure out how to work Ariana Grande and a licking donut scene back into a conversation. You ever notice that?
Well,
anyway,
schools are obsessed. But they're obsessed.
I know, but I know that that's the political talking point is to say like there's just too much regulation. The schools are trying to tell our kids what to do, and I get that. But I hope at the end of the day that the overall goal is to better our children, and that we do care about our kids, and we want them to be healthy and feel good about themselves. But the problem here, right, Andrea, is that they feel good about themselves when they shouldn't, and that's a really difficult, sticky situation, right, Jedediah? Because if a parent's not telling their kid that, the school gets worried that nobody's telling them that.
Confident fat kids, Lou. What do we do with confident fat kids?
Here's the problem. Some idiots have done a study and have examined kids who feel good about themselves as teenagers and their body image, and now that's a problem.
You don't think this
exists? What the hell is wrong with this country?
You don't think this exists? You don't think
I don't know if it exists or not, but having a teenager who feel good about themselves, I think is splendid. We can go to the gym next year. Let's get through this year.
But you're teaching kids to feel good about themselves no matter what. So should we teach them? Okay, so if you're overweight and you're now making yourself prone to, should we teach them to feel good if they want to experiment with alcohol?
That there's no problem too small for which government and some groupthink doesn't have a solution that no one needs.
I'm not saying government, but there's a role for parents here. There's a role for society.
Michelle has turned it into government.
There's a role for us to be able to say, you know what, this is not an accurate depiction of what's going on in your own body.
How about just do the schoolwork, do your homework?